Welcome to Beyond the Press Release, a production of Agoracom, in which we take the time to speak with small cap executives after they put out important news. With us today, happy to have him back, Laurent Benezra, President and CEO, Intema Solutions, soon to be React Gaming Group, trades in Canada under ITM, for friends in the US under ITMZF. If you're a fan of esports betting, wagering, then you're going to love this, because Intema is the emerging esports and iGaming company that's creating an esports adventure, an ecosystem like no other. And what they want to do is create the world's foremost esports and iGaming ecosystem. Why? The global online gambling market could potentially hit $1 trillion by the end of this decade due to the number of people online that's just growing and the number of countries and jurisdictions that are legalizing gambling. Esports was already the fastest growing subsector of digital entertainment. COVID-19 has only helped accelerate that trend. Some of the biggest brands and tournament prizes, online audiences in the world is taking place in esports. But despite that, the amount of viewers, esports is still dramatically under monetized relative to traditional sports. Intema believes its wagering will play a major role in helping monetize this ever evolving platform. And rather than go through them all, we're going to talk about a number of press releases the company has released to back up exactly what they're talking about. Laurent, welcome back, my friend.
Thanks, George. Always a pleasure to have some time with you and to explain what's going on a little bit in the company and how complex we've been growing and what's going on in the past couple of weeks. But thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and we should be calling this Beyond the Press Releases. Just because the news there are a lot of people who are trying to use esports and iGaming as buzzwords, but you guys are actually walking the walk. So for example, you just got conditional approval to finally acquire world leading esports platform Loop.Bet, which is now live stream gaming. That's a big one. $92 million in total bets in 2020, 450,000 registered users, more than that, $4.8 million in rev, profitable. You also signed a letter of intent with Wild Rose Entertainment to enter the US market. You're granted your Isle of Man online gambling license. There's so much going on. Let's talk about that in order. Let's start with the Isle of Man license. Before the details, how big of a milestone is it that you guys got that?
I think it's this is the biggest milestone we've accomplished up to date. One of the requirements from the TSX to finish the live stream acquisition was to receive the Isle of Man license. The Isle of Man license is considered the platinum standard in the world. We're talking about the most prestigious, hardest to acquire license for gaming in the world. We're talking about a total world in capturing license. Obviously, the United States and Canada are a little bit different, but we'll talk about that a little bit later on.
Yeah, but pretty much a big chunk of the world of the global iGaming, where you can go put in your esports betting, you now have available to Intema, which you didn't have before.
Yeah, absolutely. It's also the most recognized one. So if you think of any one of the big players in the world out there, be it sports books or esports, they all have the Isle of Man license. The Isle of Man license is, like I said, the platinum standard. It opens up so many jurisdictions and so many users from across the world that I don't think most people understand what kind of license acquirement this is.
Yeah, and rightfully so, they don't, because they're learning that right now. But before I get into a couple of questions about what you're going to do with it, it's also great third-party validation, right? Because what you said, I can't go apply to get, this isn't, hey, send an application and a fee and wait 6 to 9 months and you'll get a license back. You go through an incredible vetting process to get an Isle of Man license. So what does that say about your tech and your team being compliant and being technologically capable of delivering under that license?
It's a statement of trust. It's a statement of, this team, this software, this platform can be trusted to place bets on. We're in the trust business. I said it before and I'll say it again. Our users trust us to deliver, be it payouts or entertainment for that matter. Now the Isle of Man has seen that trust and has backed up that trust. So what happens is that, it helps us operationally to, like I said, open up jurisdictions that were not available before. But more importantly, also a little bit back office wise, our payment processing can be now done with tier 1 processors.
Right.
So really, the Isle of Man is a license of trust, and we're extremely happy and grateful.
You're in the club, right? That says you're in the club, from the payment processing side to the jurisdictions. That's a great thing, and I'm glad you said that. Now, interesting enough, you mentioned a second ago, you said part of the TSX venture conditions to go ahead with finalize the transaction for Loop.Bet was getting the Isle of Man license. So you've got it. What does that mean for your Loop.Bet business in terms of expanding it? Because it's already a really successful company right now. How does the Isle of Man license supercharge that acquisition, which now looks like a strategically fantastic move by you guys?
Well, it opens up, like I said, it opens up the world. So Loop.Bet's current structure was with a Curacao license, meaning that it was limited to a certain amount of countries,
right,
a certain amount of jurisdictions. The Isle of Man license opens up most of the world. And what happens now is that all esports enthusiasts can now go to the largest wagering platform, which is Loop.Bet, and can trust that platform to place bets in esports. And I think that's very important, considering that we're looking at being one of the first players to have that Isle of Man license and to open up the rest of the world compared to our competitors and our peers.
And how is that acquisition going? Because you still have to finish it off, but you got conditional approval to go ahead and acquire it. And I want to remind everyone again, about over $90 million in total bets in 2020, $4.8 million in revenue, over 6-figure profits. How is that looking now that you've got the Isle of Man license, the conditional approval from the exchange? Are you confident you guys are going to be able to close that? And do you have a ballpark timing on it?
We are extremely confident, put it this way, on a scale of 1 to 100, we're about 97%, 97 out of 100. We're finishing up with some minor details. Obviously, the Isle of Man license came in Friday, which is 4 days ago or 3 days ago. So the TSX has to react. We have a couple of letters, bureaucratic back office things that have to be done. But for us, the Loop.Bet acquisition, the live stream acquisition is complete. We're just finishing it up. We would like to finish it before the end of 2021. Obviously, the market is very important for us. Our shareholders are very important for us. So we understand there's a little bit of jitter, but I can state here that for us, this is 97% complete. We're just missing some signatures, basically.
Yep. All right. That's great to hear. It'd be a great, potential Christmas holiday present for everybody. If not, it'll be a great New Year's gift for everyone. Assuming that all gets done, Laurent, here we are, January, we're kind of fast forwarding. How fast is there a plan as to how you start moving Loop.Bet into other jurisdictions? Have you guys started planning that out yet? Or are you guys still in the planning phases?
No, we've been planning for the past 6 months at this point. For those who've been, following you and our interviews together, they should know a little bit about the background of Intema, which is going to become React Gaming Group. We have experts in the field. We have partnerships with casinos, be it all over the world, specifically Latin America. I've always said that Latin America is going to be a very important portion once we get the Isle of Man. But we're going to be attacking Europe, Latin America as the first steps. What I always found very interesting, what I always found our mission statement for 2021 was to build an ecosystem, merge and acquire with very talented companies and teams. That's done. So 2022 is going to be all about integration, revenue, and growth. And that's really what we're going to be doing. So we're going to be attacking the market as soon as we can. Probably in mid-January is when our first moves are going to start being apparent.
That's great, because you guys closed a major financing earlier this year too. So you've got the cash available to get it done, right, Laurent?
Oh, that's absolutely true. Look, we are an extremely healthy company in terms of cash flow. We don't burn very much figures out there. I know that my competitors burn in the millions. We do not.
Well, you need to pay me more then, just so you can be up to date with everybody else. Burn as much money that, just if you need to pay me more, go ahead, so we can put you in the same.
I'm gonna get my legal department to talk to you about that, I guess.
All right.
But look, we're a very healthy company. We're very operationally efficient. Sometimes, and I get this a lot, is that we don't market enough because we're so operational. We're always in the trenches, but that's going to change in 2022. Really, React Gaming Group, when it does come out, probably in mid-January, once we do our annual shareholder meeting, you're going to see a different kind of corporation.
And in fairness to you, at the same time, there wasn't a lot of marketing you could do because you went through that prolonged halt with the TSX venture because of this major acquisition. So someone could be short-sighted and say, I wasn't happy about that. But the fact of the matter is, it's such a big acquisition that it warranted it. So I think if you're a long-term investor, you're happy with what's transpired in 2021. It's set up the company perfectly to move in 2022 and beyond.
Well, I agree completely. I think the halt was a choice from the TSX. It wasn't our choice. Luckily, we've operated efficiently in the fact that we've gotten all the conditions for the TSX done, which is very, very rare, by the way, especially in the past couple of months and how fast we've done it. We are poised, like I said, for 2022 to be an incredible year in terms of revenue and growth, but also in expanding esports. Esports in 2021 started really getting traction, but 2022, with the amount of tournaments, with all the big major sponsors coming in, we're looking at, increasing our betting handle, but more importantly, increasing esports across the world. And our ecosystem is not just wagering. Our ecosystem has teams, we have apparel, we have wagering, we have skill-based wagering, which is something that I don't think the world has caught on to yet. And that is the future. Like if you look at metaverse, skill-based wagering for me is the metaverse of wagering in the future, right? But we'll get to that point, and then the market will start reacting in a couple of months. But we're really poised for growth, and
yeah, you've done it right. You've set it up right, because a lot of people just rush into it and then try and figure it out afterwards. You've done the opposite. And we have a saying with some of our clients: slow is smooth, smooth is fast.
Yes.
And that's what you guys have done. And if we ended the interview right there, we'd say, Laurent, this is great. Everything is set up. Acquisition get ready to close. Isle of Man license. Can't wait to have you back in January. And that would be a great way to end it. But we're not ending it there, because the other press release you just put out, and I'm going to read this off, if you don't mind. Intema U.S. subsidiary Generations Gaming Entertainment signs LOI with Wild Rose Entertainment, and that's to enter the U.S. market, and specifically Iowa. So how big is it that you guys are telling the market that you're entering the U.S. market? And then why Iowa? Iowa doesn't seem like it's a hotbed for esports. So why Iowa, and what's the signal you're sending?
Absolutely. So not a lot of people knew that Generations was part of Intema. We spun up that company to attack specifically the U.S. market. As you know, the U.S. market is fragmented and disjointed at best. You have to go state by state to get licenses, state by state. So the IOM, the Isle of Man license does not cover the United States. So a couple of months ago, we started thinking of how do we penetrate the United States, pardon me. And we realized that with our leadership and with our expertise and our networking, we had a way in through Bill Foss. Bill Foss is going to be heading Generations Gaming. Generations Gaming is starting as a B2B white label provider of sports books. And we had the luck and the skill to enter Iowa's market, as they were looking for a new white label solution and a white label partner. The Generations Gaming is going to start off as a sports book provider. So think of your run-of-the-mill sports like NBA, NHL, et cetera, et cetera. So that's what we're going to be doing, because esports is not legal yet in Iowa. We believe it will be. We believe we'll be the pioneers to get that license. But we said to ourselves, you know what? We have to start somewhere. We have to start some way. And we're looking at a handle for, I believe, November for Iowa, or at least for Wild Rose, in the $80 million range per month.
And for the year, they did close to $1 billion in handle in Iowa, which is pretty big.
Yeah.
So tell us a little more about Wild Rose specifically. What is about them? What do they do? And what do you guys plan to do with them?
So unfortunately, that's not very public. It's a little bit
okay. All right. Trade secret. I get that.
It's secret sauce. Unfortunately, I'm not allowed really divulging. We are in the middle of talks with them. The LOI is a extremely huge milestone for our type of company. Think about it. We're a very small player in the United States, and suddenly we get into a state where the handle is not a state. Not only do we get into a state, we get into a casino, 3 of them that have a handle of 80 million per month. So to give you a comparison, Loop.Bet's total handle for 2020 was 92 million. Iowa's 3 casinos internet handle that we're getting into is 80 million. I think that kind of speaks for itself, right? As for your question, I would love to answer it. Unfortunately, we are a public company and I cannot really divulge any.
You can't blame me for asking.
Absolutely. Look, you're the interviewer. That's your job, right?
Is there but if everything goes well with this partnership, how could you leverage, for example, Loop.Bet HypeX in casino tournaments? I'm assuming that's all on the table as to where how you'd like to penetrate that market.
Absolutely. We had a couple of days ago, Esports Entertainment Group, Esports Entertainment Group, signed with the New Jersey Commission to have land-based esports wagering.
One of our clients, by the way, full disclosure.
Oh, really? Excellent. So they're fantastic at what they do. I have to admit it here. They are visionaries. I believe we think the same way. We're following in their footsteps, and then I find that as flattery for them and for us also, because we're executors like they are. So they got into casinos in New Jersey for esports wagering. Our thinking is the same. We believe that with HypeX as a tournament platform, we can get into casinos, but we can do it in a different way. We can do it in the normal esports wagering with the Loop.Bet software that becomes white labeled in esports, and we can do it with skill-based wagering in the casino, which would attract a brand new demographic, which would attract a total involved,
a younger demographic, a much younger, more versatile demographic.
Well, absolutely, and that's what the casinos are looking for, right? They're looking to capture the new generation, and we believe that with the HypeX software, and obviously you had Ty Root on your show a couple of days ago, I believe. The gentleman's brilliant. Ty, when I first spoke to him, I was floored. I put him in the visionary category. His work ethic is incredible. His
track record, his track record of accomplishments. He's done this before.
Yeah, and if all goes well, I'd love him to replace me in a couple of years. So that's the type of vote of confidence I have with Ty Root. And HypeX is really, like I said before, is our secret weapon. Loop.Bet is phenomenal. Peter and his team have always done and always will do a phenomenal job. But I really believe HypeX is being skill-based wagering is the way of the future. Like I said before, like Metaverse is taking over the world, HypeX can take over the world also.
Last question for you. Today, Iowa, partnership here, LOI with Wild Rose Entertainment. Do you foresee that is this a one-off for you guys, or are you going to look for these same kind of partnerships, LOIs in other states with Wild Rose equivalents?
Generations Gaming and Entertainment, our U.S. subsidiary that signed this LOI, and Bill Foss being the CEO of that subsidiary, that is their mandate. Their mandate is to attack the United States, to get in there, to go through the casinos, the land-based casinos, use their licenses, get the skins. We call them skins, sorry. White labels are skins, by the way. Sorry, I was just using a little bit of shop talk. But to get into the white label, the skins, and to virus out. And anybody who's been following the series, especially our talks, I've always spoken about being a virus. A virus starts off small, and the next thing you know, takes over the whole body, or the whole ecosystem. And that's what we're going to be doing. So Iowa is the start. And we believe that in a couple of months from now, you're going to get another couple of PRs where Generations gets into certain areas, certain
Wow.
casinos, and these are big things for us. When I built the ecosystem, I built it as a diversification tool, and I believe diversification, like any portfolio manager, you need to diversify your investments, and these are investments for us, and they're more importantly, they're investments that the shareholders have trusted me to do. And that's my mandate. My mandate is to make sure that my shareholders, my investors, are always happy with what we do. They're not always going to see it, but
Well, look, I can tell you, because Agoracom is a shareholder, people know that. And I can tell you, speaking for me and probably for a lot of people, what's really culminated here through a year of effort in this last 45 days has been great. You guys are doing a great job, and I think you've delivered a great structure here, and we can all start to see now how this structure is going to really start attacking the market in 2022. And the great part is you're going to have revenues from the Loop.Bet acquisition. You're going to have that, and then you're just going to build on that with everything else that's going on. So congratulations, Laurent. I know it's not just you, it's a team, but you are the tip of the spear. So congratulations to you and your team. And sounds like January 15th or so, we'll be back on again with after the meeting, with the name change and showing the entire world the plan. I can't wait for it.
Well, thank you so much, George. I always appreciate our talks. There's a lot of things going on, but you always have great interviews. We always have great interviews. And look, I wish you and your family happy holidays.
Hey, it's easy to do a great interview when you have great content, right? It's hard to do an interview when you're just looking for something to grasp at straws. That's a complete opposite of Intema. You've got so many things going, and thank you for the holiday wishes. Same to you and your family, Laurent, and can't wait to see you in January, my friend.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
For everybody at home, you've been watching or you've been listening by podcast on Spotify, Google, Apple, your favorite podcast platform, to Laurent Ben-Ezra. He's President and CEO of Intema Solutions, soon to be React Gaming Group. So keep that name in your head, because Intema is going to become React Gaming. For now, stock symbol ITM in Canada, ITMZF in the US. Do your due diligence, get to Agoracom, get to the profile page, take a look at all the different elements of the company, because it is a company with a lot of tentacles, but great tentacles. And then from there, hop over to the Intema website, do your deep dive due diligence. If you love esports, if you love iGaming and believe in the future of these, then you've got to do your due diligence. Don't say 12 months from now we didn't tell you so. Have a great day. See you next time. Hey guys, this video is over, but don't forget to help your company by liking it and then leaving a comment below. And then don't forget to help yourself by subscribing to our channel so you don't ever miss another great Agoracom small cap video.